Welcome everyone. Today we are going to take the very first lesson of literature from Communicative English, Class 10, which is Two Gentlemen of Verona by A.J. Cronin. And before we begin our video, before we begin our explanation, word to word explanation of the lesson, we are first going to discuss the theme of the story and character sketches and some other important parts that we need to. Okay. So, beginning the story with the theme, this story is about two young brothers, Nicola and Jacopo. The younger one is nearly 11 years old, although exact age is not mentioned, but he's nearly 11 or 12 years old. And the elder brother, Nicola, he's 13 years old. Now, these two brothers at such a young age, they work all day long. They perform like, 8 to 10 different kinds of jobs. Basically, they do whatever work is available to them, and they're living their life with dealing with hardships every single day, sleeping on the footpath and just eating barely whatever they could find, whatever they find, just enough to survive. And they're malnourished, they do not have parents, they're orphaned. So you'll see in the story how they came about to be in this situation, and how their story is inspiring to us as readers, because they're so young. They're 10, 11, and they're hardly like 11 to 13. So at such a young age, they're continuing their struggles without complaining, without disclosing their secrets to anybody in the world. And they continue to do this, dealing with all the hardships, which shows the values of resilience and perseverance. So let's start with the theme first. The story discusses that true success lies in selfless service and staying true to your values and ambition rather than pursuing wealth. So for these two young boys, the actual reason of them working so hard was they had an elder sister named Lucia, and she was suffering from tuberculosis of the spine. And she was admitted in a hospital where all the comforts of a villa were provided, and these two boys, since they had nobody else, since they had no relatives, no parents, and nobody else in the world to rely upon, worked all day long, all day and night, only so that they could afford the treatment of their sister. And that is why, and one thing to notice in this lesson would be that despite the fact that they work so hard and earn a lot of money, they do not spend even a single penny on themselves. They wear tattered clothes which are torn. They're living in shabby condition. They just sleep on the footpath. They barely eat figs and black bread. And all of this to save every single penny for their sister, Lucia. So basically, their story tells us that true success lies in selfless service. And you see, there is no greed in what they are doing. It is all selfless. It's all because of sibling love for their sister. Secondly, Jacopo and Nicola exemplify dedication to a higher purpose. Even when asked that why don't you travel, why don't you eat, why don't you do this, they never complain. Their purpose is not a minor one, it's a major purpose. They sacrifice their own comfort for their sister's well being. In the story, you will also see one thing: they themselves sleep on the footpath. They're wearing tattered clothes, shabby, old-looking clothes. They, work in every single kind of weather, whether it is summer, winter, or rainy outside. And their sister, who is admitted in a hospital, which is more like a villa, she has all the comforts. She is seen wearing nice clothes, having a nurse 24/7 to take care of her, living in a completely comfortable environment. So you see how they've learned the value of sacrifice and selflessness at such a young age, at the age of 11 to 13. Continuing, their unwavering commitment despite facing adversity demonstrates the power of perseverance. So, as I mentioned, perseverance is very important, the quality of not giving up. वो give up नहीं करते, they continue to do their work despite facing so many hardships, and अपना sacrifice comfort करके they are providing all the luxuries that are possible to their sister. Then the resilience in the face of adversity teaches us that no matter how painful the circumstances may be, hope and determination are essential to overcome them. See, one thing is very important. Yes, they were dealing with hardships. Yes, they had a lot of problems to deal with at such a young age. But the fact that they did not give up. And why was this possible? Because they were hopeful. They knew for sure, they hoped this thing that one day there will be a day finally when the sister would be better. She'd be able to walk again, she'd be able to sing again, and they could finally have a dream of a happy family possible again. So hope is very important, and determination, not giving up. These two qualities are most important. And the story is a timeless reminder. You see, what do you mean by the word timeless is that this story is post-war, like the story that is narrated here. The all the incidents these happen after the war. So this story is timeless because it was relevant 100 years ago. It's relevant today and probably would be relevant even in the years to come. And it's a constant reminder that true fulfillment in life comes from selflessness. When you think of other people apart from yourself, when you continue to persevere despite difficulties, and when you are optimistic in the face of life triumphs. Then this story also contrasts two things, that is innocence versus cynicism. See, एक तरफ we have Nicola and Jacopo, who are true symbols of innocence. They're so young, they're just children right now. So they are, completely innocent. They are not aware of the harsh realities of the world. They are not wicked. They are not that clever to, actually deceive someone and make money. You see, they're so young. It's very easy for them to gain sympathy. छोटे हैं ना अभी, तो किसी को भी अपनी स्टोरी बताकर they can easily gain sympathy, but they choose not to do that. They choose to live like gentlemen, which is the title itself, two gentlemen of Verona. So they choose to live like gentlemen, not asking help from anybody, continuing to do their work with honesty. And on the other hand, there is this world which is cruel, where wars take place, where the adults, the leaders, the world leaders continue to engage in wars. These wars not only destroy things physically, but also destroy peace of mind of people. And because of this war, these two boys, these three siblings, they had lost their father and moreover their home. And now they had no place in the world to go to call their home and nobody else to call as a parent. So, एक तरफ there is the cruelty of the world. On the other hand, there is the innocence of Nicola and Jacopo that is contrasted in this story. Then selflessness and sacrifice. On the part of, as we just discussed, on the part of Nicola and Jacopo, it was a big sacrifice. They were sacrificing their entire childhood. And one more thing in the story we'll read, they are 11 and 13 right now, but they have been dealing with hardships for almost from the time when they were 6 or 8 years old because they had already lost their mother even before the war took place. So they had their father. They lost their father during the World War. After the World War, their house was bombed and they came to streets. Then they had to live in a makeshift shelter. Moreover, after that, these two boys at such a young age, for 3 years, they went to join the rebellious forces against Germany because they obviously hated the Germans because of the war, because it had taken away their home, it had taken away their father from them, they had taken away the happy family from them. So, from such a young age, they had learned to be selfless and sacrifice presently for their sister Lucia. So this really portrays a very strong message. Then again, as we discussed, that hope and determination, these are the two most important factors when it comes to surviving any kind of challenge in life, no matter what kind of a turbulence or what kind of trials are going on in your life, no matter how hard life is testing you, you cannot just give up on hope and determination. Love and family bonds are very deep in this story. You see, uh, again, it's not mentioned in the story, but there is probably a fact that even the sister Lucia is unaware of how her brothers are managing to, pay her hospital fees. What exact work do they do? Because they only meet her once in a week for an hour. So, like, basically, they are in Verona, and the sister is admitted in a hospital in Poletta, which is almost 30 kilometers away from Verona, And the reason of that is that in Poletta, there are less work opportunities, there are less chances of making money. And Verona, since it's a tourist place, and we have lots of different tourists every single day. So Verona में work बहुत अच्छा खासा मिलता है. As a result, they're living there. And the point is, despite all the hardships, no matter how they're sleeping, no matter what they eat, no matter what exact amount of weather conditions and hardships they're enduring, they do not disclose it to their sister. They do not disclose it to anybody in the world. Even when the narrator, the author, A.J. Cronin, inquires them of, the fact that if you make so much of money, then why don't you spend it? Why don't you eat good? Why don't you dress up good? Why don't you spend on yourself? But the boys simply do not disclose their plan. Even at the end, when they seek help from the narrator, they just take a petty amount of help and do not disclose their secret till the very end of the story. Humanitarianism. Nicola and Jacopo are willing to help their sister, and in return, they do not expect anything. Moreover, even when tourists come, they always greet everybody with a smile. You see, at such a young age, they have this hospitality in them that they're not disclosing their hardships. Moreover, they are dealing with so many problems, yet they always choose to have a smile on their faces. And this chapter is a powerful commentary on the importance of kindness and compassion in today's world, especially because today's selflessness is not valued. If somebody is trying to be good, people either doubt the intentions, or on the other hand, people have stopped being kind to others for no apparent reason. Then, talking of the first character in this story, these two character sketches are most important, Nicola and Jacopo, and the third one would be the narrator. So, Nicola, he's the elder brother, he's 13 years old, he's quite loving, he's quite caring, doting is caring, and quite responsible. You see, technically, out of the three siblings, it's the sister. She's 20 something years old, and she's the eldest one. But since she is suffering from tuberculosis of the spine, so obviously she is bedridden. She cannot move. Then he is the second eldest in the out of all the three siblings. But presently he has become the sole elder in the family of three, and he has taken the responsibility of three people: one of himself, secondly of the elder sister Lucia, and moreover of Jacopo, his younger brother, who's hardly an year or so younger than him. But then he's taking all the responsibilities. Diligently, very sincerely, he has taken upon himself the task of getting his sister rid of tuberculosis. And at the same time, he even shows motherly and, moreover, you can say fatherly care to his little brother as well, because he is the parent now. There is no parent alive, so he is the parent. He bears hardships, yet he never indulges in self pity. That's the most important quality of Nicola. He does not gain sympathy. He does not want to sit and cry in front of people and tell them that he has problems. He is dealing with it. And he keeps his problems as a guarded secret. He's devoid of protection. He has nobody to protect him, no protection, no guidance in his life, no elder to guide him. He still takes life in his stride. He deals with things and he devotes himself to his work with an honored devotion that even a stranger, in this case, the stranger is AJ Cronin, even a stranger can view his gentleman behavior. Then, talking about the younger brother Jacopo. Jacopo is the younger brother. He is not exactly 12. In the story, it's mentioned he's nearly 12 years old. Shabbily dressed boy. He's full of life and zeal. Ab now he is the younger one. He still has two elder siblings to look up to. He has Nicola and then he has Lucia as well. So, he's also responsible. He's also devoted. He also performs all the works with, complete dedication and sincerity. But then he still has this liveliness left in him because abhi chota hai. So he has this, lively spirit, and he has this fun-loving side to him. And he is described in the story being as lively as a squirrel. So he's quite active and he's full of life. He wants to enjoy things. As per the narrator, he is lively as a squirrel, but also has a seriousness within him way beyond his years. So you see, this goes for both the brothers, Nicola and Jacopo. Both of them, they're very innocent looking, of course, because they are young. But at the same time, when one observes them closely, they also have this maturity on their face, this aspect of seriousness on their face, which is far beyond their age. Why? Because at such a young age, they have been made to take up the responsibility of their own lives as well as their ailing sister. So one tends to become mature. Other times he's quite childish. He's artless. Artless is an important word for him. Whenever a question comes, you're supposed to mention this. His honest innocence makes him seek a favor from the narrator. Towards the end of the story, you will see that he actually, despite Nicola not agreeing to it, he is the one who asks the narrator to for a favor to drive them to Poletta, where they have to meet their sister. But even then, they do not disclose why they are going there. But actually, at this place in the story is when the narrator learns of their little secret. But he is lovable as well as he is loved. Talking about narrator now, you see, narrator went to Verona as a tourist for a few days, and he ended up, interacting with these boys. His very first encounter was when these boys were selling the wild strawberries, and over the course of next few days, he observed these boys doing different kinds of activities, and he's a keen observer. He's sensitive to the world around him. He even observes beyond what is apparent. जो दिखता है उसके beyond जो नहीं भी दिख रहा है, he is very easily able to know that, and he identifies the joys and sorrow of other people. He's inquisitive but not nosy. So this is a very important characteristic of the narrator in this story. He's curious, of course. Even आप भी होगे, if you're going somewhere and if you see two young children working that hard, so obviously a curiosity will strike you कि why are they working so hard? That will be the first question. But then it is obvious कि okay, they're working for money. But despite the fact that they're doing so many jobs, why don't they spend money on themselves is still a big question. But then he is not nosy. You will see, even in the end, when he learns the secret of the two brothers, he does not question them. He does not even reveal to the boys that he has learned their secret. This attitude of helping others actually brings him close to these two orphaned children, Nicola and Jacopo. He is admirable, admiring of the gentleman-like qualities of the two shabbily dressed boys. And this is the reason he calls them two gentlemen. Although these are boys, young boys, and not even men, but he calls them gentlemen because they were far more mature than other adults. Not even people who were actually adults, these boys were far more mature, had good mannerisms, they were cultured, they did their work with honesty, sincerity, and most importantly with a smile on their faces. He's a thorough gentleman himself. He offers to drive them all the way to Poletta, which is 30 kilometers from Verona, yet he does not intrude in their privacy at all. He himself too is a gentleman as well. He gives the boys the pleasure that they had succeeded in keeping their secret despite the fact he had learnt of their story. So, even in the end, when he gets to know all about the life of the boys, he does not reveal it to them that he knows their secret, and he lets them keep their secret alive.